What's going on, everyone? Bran here from Bloody Breakdown, and today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Usually I come here, I talk about horror news, I rank things, I review things, I critique things, I commentate on things, all horror related, and today's going to be no different. It is horror related, but as you can see here by the title of the video and the video we have here on the screen, I'm going to be talking about this video that I came across just a couple of days ago, wherein this guy, takes it upon himself to try to shit all over the genre of horror, my favorite and probably yours if you're watching this video. And I wanted to talk about the video. I wanted to critique some of the things he has to say. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to take some low blows as well. So this is kind of going to be almost like a crossover between what I do here on this channel and what I and some of my friends do over at the Geek Room. So if you're not subbed to the Geek Room, go try it out. Let's see if it's for you. It ain't for everybody, that's for sure. But so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into this. As you can tell by the title, this guy's entire premise is horror movies are harmful to the mind. So that's what I'm going to be responding to today. And you just know anytime somebody makes a video in their car, and yeah, I'm guilty of it before. I try not to do it that much, but you just know it's going to be top-notch quality shit. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop right in. Really quickly, before we do get into this, just going to whore myself out here at the beginning because I've noticed a lot of people doing that. It seems to be a little bit more beneficial than doing it at the end. If you enjoy the video, like it. If you like this content and you haven't already subscribed, turn on notifications. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll know when I go live or upload. There's a link down below to my Twitter. If you'd like to follow me, there's also a link down below to Patreon if you'd like to support this channel and what it is I do here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This is Inspirational Nomad, I believe is the name of his channel. And here is his video. Horror movies are harmful to the mind.
Horror movies are harmful to your mind. Horror movies are blunt trauma to your psychological mind. Studies show that people who watch horror movies have higher levels of anxiety and have less quality of sleep.
Okay, so I thought that he was kind of being selective in that sentence. So I dug into it, and it turns out he is being very selective by how he's posed this. So let me read to you this. This is from healthline.com, an article entitled, "Are Horror Movies Bad for Your Mental Health?" And here's a little snippet that I thought was very useful to combat this kind of bullshit. So it says here, in a 2017 study by the University of Toledo's Department of Health and Recreation found that binge watching movies or TV can increase symptoms of anxiety and disrupt sleep even when they aren't horror movies. So, bullshit claim number one: binge watching anything, movies, TV, it's just like anything else, in moderation. Now, am I guilty of binge watching horror sometimes? Yes, sure. I don't notice any difference in my anxiety. I'm always a ball of nerves, and my sleep really doesn't change. But I'm just one person. That's just my anecdotal experience. The facts is that it doesn't matter what type of genre, what type of content you're consuming. Binge watching can affect your anxiety and your sleep. It's not specifically horror. This is something that a lot of people doing 5 minutes of Google research, I've seen a lot of people try to use this specifically at horror films, when the facts are, this is how it is with binging any kind of content. So we'll go ahead and continue from here.
I dated a chick. This isn't a scientific study, but I dated a chick. All she liked was horror movies and the high roller coasters at Great Adventure. Oh, let me tell you something. I don't need a scientific study to tell you. Red flag. If you date somebody, man or woman, that all they like is horror movies and the high roller coasters, get away. Get away. You might as well be dating Freddy Krueger.
So I just discounted my own anecdotal evidence, and then he follows this up in this video with anecdotal evidence. So that's that's very interesting. He really doesn't give any reason per se as to why he feels this way about dating someone who is an adrenaline junkie or really likes the suspense of horror films or things of that nature. He doesn't give any reasons. He just goes, oh, yeah, trust me. Because this is the face of a man that you want to trust.
All right, I'm being a little playful. But I'm a little serious too. Let me tell you something. I will also say that I had a friend growing up, a male friend, that he watched a lot of horror movies, and it played a part in his lack of mental peace.
How? Like at the beginning of this video, you didn't cite any source like I have already in rebutting your bullshit. But what you did do is you took something that was rooted in truth and kind of twisted it to fit your narrative. Since then, the last 2 points you've made have all been anecdotal bullshit with literal. I mean, you don't even go into detail as to why your anecdote is, even useful whatsoever. You know what? I'm gonna let this guy go ahead and finish his statement. I hope there's more to this. I don't want to just assume that he's going to be a complete and total cretin the entire time. So let's see.
He also had problems with maintaining a stable mindset. There are always a variety of factors.
Okay, so yes, that's actually what I was about to get into. There's always a variety of factors. So how do you pinpoint that horror films were his undoing? How? Were there any tests ran? Has there been any study on this specifically that narrows down horror as the root cause? Because if there are, I'm not aware of them.
So I can't say that horror movies cause this.
There you go. All right, so video over. Why the fuck are we even still here?
I'm not saying that. And I am in context not saying that horror movies are the devil and you should never watch them.
You kind of are. You're saying it can ruin relationships. It can ruin your life. It can ruin your mentality. You pretty much are saying that. But sweet backpedal, bro.
I used to watch the Freddy Kruegers and all that, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I used to watch them. But let me tell you something. I didn't feel good after I watched them.
And that was horror. That was horror's fault. Like, okay, so there's two scenarios in my mind of you not feeling good after you watch a scary movie. Number one, it could be something totally different, something else altogether. Or, number two, if it is the horror films, if it really is the horror movies, maybe, just maybe, you're a pussy. Did you ever think about that?
And they do. You are watching, even though it's fake. I understand that, and even though it's Hollywood, I understand that. But you are watching a reenactment of a murder.
A reenactment of a murder. And that's just the thing, man. You just said it. It's fake. It's false. I mean, I've got a couple of other things here that I kind of wanted to bring up in case this guy ever sees this video, or maybe there's someone that agrees with him that some extra little facts here. So I got this little tidbit here from the same site I had got that last bit from. So it says it's a well-known fact that frightening scenes in movies are a real adrenaline pump. However, most people don't know that when scary scenes are over, the brain calms down and releases serotonin and dopamine. Those hormones help keep your body healthy and maintain a high level of brain activity. So there's another thing really quickly that I just snagged there for you. Now I've cited two studies, two sources. to your partially citing something that you wanted to cram into attack horror films on, when in reality it's the spectrum is a lot broader than what you made it, and your two little half-assed anecdotal stories about your own personal experience. That doesn't mean a fuck to me, but continue.
And that causes blunt trauma to the mind. That's why people who actually experience murder, that's why they're given therapists.
Okay. Sweetheart, there is a big difference, a huge difference, and I've felt this difference before in watching someone die, like really watching someone die, whether you know them or not, and watching a character die in a horror film. All right. Now, the only way that you're going to blur these lines here is if you're talking about maybe a kid, maybe that doesn't understand what they're watching isn't real. At which point I would say that definitely falls on the parents. As a parent myself, I don't let my kids watch horror. It's pretty rare that we watch anything that's necessarily scary. But I mean, if at any point in time there is something that one of my kids see that, one of my kids is older, kind of gets it. I do still have a younger child who doesn't really understand all this stuff yet, at least to a certain degree. But it's called sit down with your kid and fucking talk to them and explain these things to them. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like in this country or if it's just a thing in general, but people act like they don't want to talk to their fucking children and explain to them what these things are. So none of this can even manifest.
Because you have to, people who serve in the army, they see horrible things. You have to mentally process the horrific things you see.
And there's a difference between watching them on a screen, knowing they're Hollywood. You process those things differently than you do watching them in person. When it really happens, when it really goes down. And also the fact that I just read earlier is essentially that watching these films can kind of almost prepare you, almost like a run through, like a tryout, so to speak, of how to process and cope with these things. So actually, I have something here that's kind of somewhat related. It says, and this is from National Geographic, how horror movies can help people overcome real world trauma. I guess now would be a good time to interject this. And that is, it has been found particularly helpful for treating anxiety disorders, including post-traumatic stress disorder, phobias, and obsessive compulsive disorder. Their treatment works by retraining I'm going to try to say this word, amygdala, or amygdala. I don't know. I'm not a fucking brain surgeon. The fear center of the brain, through a process of activating it via exposure to the feared object or situation. So just so I'm not throwing things out there, hurling a turd against the wall and hoping it sticks, kind of like you do, there's that. Horror movies are actually beneficial in that way. In the same way that you're trying to shit all over them and saying that they're causing a problem, we're actually learning they could be beneficial to the very problems that you're saying they're causing.
Again, in context, I understand that it's fiction, but I am going to shed light on this subject as we approach Halloween and as my car is parked outside of Spirit Halloween.
Fuck it.
One of those stores. I'm bringing to mind that horror movies are harmful to the mind. Do what you want. If you want to watch them, look, free crunchy, and you should be able to watch them. But I'm trying to say, and what's that guy that played the Joker in the Dark Knight Batman thing? I watched it, and he ended up committing suicide.
That's not a horror film. Okay, it's a superhero movie, crime movie. I mean, if you even if you wanted to categorize the Joker as a antagonist on a level of like a horror antagonist, which I really wouldn't be too opposed to saying that, Heath Ledger was like, I forget the term they use, the type of actor where they really, really dig into the role and they really try to become that character. And Heath went in a little too far. And apparently it was difficult for him to come back out. And I'm sure that there were other things going on in his life. It wasn't just, I played the Joker. Now I just want to die. There were probably other things going on in his life that contributed to the decline of his mental health, I guess would be a good way to put it. So I don't even know what the fuck you're getting at there, man. I mean, why aren't you attacking DC or superhero films if this is how you feel? I mean, I'd tell you you're just as stupid and just as full of shit if you did that. But, whatever. Let's see what else you got. We're about halfway done with this thing. It's God damn.
It hurts your mind. It hurts your mind.
So what the fuck hurts your mind?
And I don't care what people say. I don't agree with horror movies. I won't watch them. I won't watch them.
No, nobody said that you had to. And what is to agree with them? Like you don't agree with them. What don't you agree with?
Not anymore. I used to when I was immature, but I used to do a lot of things when I was immature. And I see now why I wasn't being the best me.
And now you're not immature. You're not immature now. Because now, I'm going to take a guess here. I don't know if life's been hard on you or not, but you look like you're in your mid to late 40s. And you're sitting in your car in front of a Spirit Halloween, which triggers you to make a video about how much you hate horror movies right around Halloween. Yeah, you're real mature now, bud.
This channel, it's about living in your car. It's about inspirational stuff. It's about life lessons.
Wait a minute. Your channel's about living in your car? This guy lives in his car. Allow me to, I'm going to pull it. I tweeted this video out the other day. And a friend of mine had a really good response to this video once I had tweeted it. Let me find this real quick. Here it is. So a friend of mine says, a grown man who willingly lives in his car because he doesn't want to function in normal society is going to tell people what harms them mentally. Internet access shouldn't be for everyone. Spot the fuck on. I love it. I absolutely love it that a guy who has made life decisions that has led him to live in his fucking, and hey, look, I know, I get it. Shit happens. I'm not making fun of anybody for whatever their financial situations may be. I'm just saying the guy who is attacking and spreading misinformation about a genre of art that I particularly enjoy, that guy is living in his car. He's going to tell me how I need to live. He's going to tell me what I need to put into my mind to reduce harm, or what I need to take out of my mind to reduce harm. The guy who lives in his fucking car, who's mad as shit outside of a Spirit Halloween. Yeah, look, if you want to take advice from this piece of shit here, be my guest. But all I'm saying is, you probably got better role models out there. And you know what? Some of those role models are the actors and actresses who have portrayed roles in horror films and are incredible people in real life.
It's about whatever I want to talk about, but it's also about being the best you. And if you're going to be the best you, I don't think you should veg out on Netflix and watch horror movies.
Okay, cool. That's your opinion. My opinion, I think if you're going to be the best you should probably get an apartment or a house or a trailer or a studio or something. Like living in your car, probably not the best you.
I don't. I think you're hurting your mind. Mind, body, and soul. You want to live out of your car? I think the last thing you should be doing is watching a horror movie. You live in an RV and the wind blows. Next thing you know, you think Freddy Krueger's out there. You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
Okay, he's on hardcore drugs. That's all there is to this. That's all there is to this. After that little outburst, this guy, I'm from South Carolina. Let's just say I know a meth head when I see one.
You think I'm joking. You think I'm joking, but it'll creep in your spirit. Because everything you ingest, just like food, you think it's cool to go to McDonald's? You think it's cool, to go to Chipotle to eat a burrito? Yeah, it's cool. 5 minutes later, your body shuts down. You think
What? What the actual fuck is he even talking about? So you go to Chipotle and eat a burrito, and then 5 minutes later, your body shuts down. Like, when does this happen? The number one thing that I have to do moments after I demolish a Chipotle burrito is go evacuate the old anal cavity. Like, I don't. What do you mean your body shuts down? I'm telling you, like, this video has evolved from me because it goes at the beginning from just some dude pissed about horror movies to, oh, this dude lives in his car, to, oh, this guy's on hardcore drugs.
it's cool? You think it's playful to watch, you know what I'm saying, the series of death on Netflix? You're watching it, yeah, it's cool, great. Then a half hour later when it's complete darkness, oh, all you do, your mind is going crazy.
Okay, so you're just a pussy. I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. You're just a little bitch. You're scared of horror movies. That's what it is, isn't it? You're afraid of horror movies. They scare the shit right out of you, just like you had a Chipotle burrito. You know, your body shuts down. And you are scared to death of them. And you don't want to just admit you're a bitch. You have to rail against the entire genre. Like, that's the vibes I'm getting. I don't know. Let me know what you all think.
It's going crazy. All right, that's it. I'm not gonna bar. I know. I'm just gonna say this. In my opinion. All right, it's my opinion.
The opinion of the man who lives in his car and, in my opinion, does methamphetamines. Yeah, let's hear what your opinion is.
And some scientific studies show, all studies are debatable, but studies show on average that a person who watches horror movies causes mental harm to their psychological well-being.
Let's see. Okay, that's different than what you said originally. That statement is different than what you originally said at the beginning of this video. So I'm going to need some evidence for that. I'm going to need you to cite your source as I did in this video. I'm going to need some proof of that because that sounds like bullshit.
Which brings up their levels of anxiety and causes less sleep.
And as I covered in this video at the beginning, that is every type of content if binge watched, if consumed not in moderation. So you're full of shit and you're just trying to zoom in on horror instead of reading that study all the way out and realizing exactly what it is.
Horror movies are harmful to your mind. During Halloween, during every part of the year, be mindful of that. Take what I'm saying in context. Don't judge anybody who watches them, but discern and decide what is best for your mental well-being.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then why are you even here? Because this information that you're talking about, as skewed as it is out there. It took me 5 minutes. 5 minutes to rebut, as far as research goes, anything that you said in this video that I wasn't already in the know about.
And mental health is a real thing.
Yes, it is. I agree. Mental health is a real thing, and we need to take it more seriously in this country than what we do. But unfortunately, we don't. So we have people like you who are off their fucking rocker or either on some hardcore ass drugs, meth, if I'm just being honest, that's what you look like, are living in your goddamn car, and you're out here running your mouth about all this weird shit. Let me throw this out here to everyone. What do you think is more dangerous? What do you think is more dangerous? Watching a horror film or getting into this guy's car?
Not just when a tragedy happens, every day. That's the thing. Mental health, man, it's underestimated. Now, society is more health conscious. People are going vegan. If you go vegan, but you watch horror flicks, yeah, it's like now you have a healthy body, but you just stabbed a knife in your mind.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, my God. I mean, all you vegan horror fans out there, I mean, what the fuck are you even doing with your life?
Mental health is just as important as your physical health. And oh, man, it's a powerful lesson, man. I hope people get what I'm saying. I hope people just think I ain't being crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. You're probably just on drugs. And that, that's kind of going back to it. Like, I think the drugs that you're doing are bad for your mind and your body. And you should probably stop doing them.
Funny.
Or at the very least, stop recording videos while you're fucked up, because this is the outcome.
I mean, people can think whatever, because obviously I'm confident enough to be me. But I want you to be the best you. And in my opinion, do what you want. Don't watch. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just going to say this. In my opinion, horror movies are harmful to the mind. Be careful.
All right. There's that. Horror movies are harmful to the mind, according to the Inspirational Nomad. A guy who lives in his car who may or may not fancy a little crystal meth from time to time. And by time to time, I mean days that end in Y. I'm just going to say this. Dude, you're fucking weird. I hope you see this video. I like to have a conversation with you about this, if for nothing else but for content fodder, because I don't believe you're the type of guy to learn anything from the discussion. I don't think you're the type of guy you can bounce ideas off of. I think you're a fucking meth addict who lives in his car and gets really pissed off when you run into pop-up spirit Halloweens, and you're a giant pussy who can't watch horror movies or even just admit the fact that they scare you, is what it is. And that's just all things that I got from watching your video, the way you act, your body language. Yeah. So, you wanted to give everyone advice about, their mental state. I would say you should seek mental health. I would say, moving into somewhere more stable than your car is probably a good idea. The reason the crack pipe burns your lips every time you hit it is probably an indication that you should stop hitting it. And I'll leave it there. So I want to know what you all think about this video. Holy shit, I'm hitting chords. I want to know what you all think about this video, my response, whatever. Leave your comments down below. If you agree with this guy, fucking let me know. We'll have a discussion. I promise I won't call you a meth head unless you are one. And yeah, while you're down there, leave a like if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe, maybe even turn on notifications if this is something you'd be interested in. We do anything and everything horror here. Yes, this is a little bit different of a video for me as far as this channel is concerned, but it's still the topic at hand, I'd say. And yeah. Links down below for Twitter and Patreon. Follow me, support this channel. I would be eternally grateful if you would do so. And yeah, I'm Brent from Bloody Breakdown. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you all are thinking about this, and we'll catch you all next time.